Hi there, it's a Copernosis. It's kind of the lighting's kind of weird because there's a storm outside. Okay, so I wanted to talk about when other people think they know you better than you know you. They think they know what's best for you better than you know. Okay, and it's usually people who are pretty self-righteous. You know what I mean? They're very self-important. Like, I don't know. There's people in your life that think they're more important in your life than you are. Okay? I know it sounds weird, but I'm finding that out as I'm trying to like pay more attention to myself and become more in tune with what I need. There are people that aren't in tune with what you need and don't really care, like since you've gone so long, like believing that they know better than you, like, because for me, when I give somebody else like a suggestion and something, I tend to really want the best for them. I'm thinking about them, and I'm kind of like, I tend to put myself out of it and kind of like try to like just think of the best, possible outcome. That's supposed to be a new thing, right? The best possible outcome for the situation. Like, if you need help, if you come to me, or if we're even talking about anything, I don't know, automatically I start, and I don't know if that's annoying to people, trying to figure out, like, if they have a problem, I do try to start to, like, or I'll try to bring in a situation I know or was in and try to, like, somehow like make it a better situation. And some people don't want things in their life to be better, and then some people don't want to take your advice because they think they know better than you, or they're just not used to listening to anybody else, and so they don't start listening to you. You know what I mean? You could be their older sister or their best friend, and it don't matter. They until they get it through their head that whatever they're saying isn't what you want to, they don't care. If you don't want to hear it, then you pretty much like gotta still listen, or just don't ever talk to them, which is kind of what's happening with me. I have a friend who I didn't want to talk to her on the phone anymore. I don't celebrate holidays. So this particular person would always email me on holidays or send me happy holidays, and I haven't celebrated holidays for several years, and so I was starting to get offended because, like, I get it, like, in the beginning or something, but you call me your best friend. Like, when I talk to this person, sometimes they tell me I'm their best friend like 50 times on the phone. Like, the last time I talked to them, I finally had to say, I know, it's okay, you don't have to say it any more times, because, and they were like, I wasn't going to say it anymore. What do you mean? Da, da, da. And I'm like, well, a lot of times we talk and you say it over and over. Probably, we like, people like to have a couple drinks and talk to their friends, and that's fine. But like, we were starting to not agree with a lot of the things we were talking about. So you keep saying you're my best friend, but if we don't agree on anything we're talking about, and every time we talk, you're yelling at me, and I'm just like wanting to get off the phone, but I'm feeling guilty about getting off the phone because you say you're my best friend. I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to her for a while, I guess. But it was starting to get to the point where I couldn't talk to this person because, I mean, I actually got to the point where, because we'd argue about politics, and I don't even like to talk about politics because I think it's so, like, they do whatever they want on either side. So I feel like, and the thing about this conversation is I voted for one person, she voted for another, and I'd always have to hear about, this person that I voted for and how bad and how horrible, and I felt the same way about all the politicians, even the ones I vote for. They've been lying to us the whole time. It's not like, somebody's been lying to you every day. Your boyfriend cheats on you every single day, comes home, I'm gonna create the next, $1 million in our household bank, but goes back and cheat every day. You know what I mean? Like, that's how politicians are, in my opinion. So I don't really trust them, and I don't want to argue with people that I consider people I like over that, especially if we don't agree. Like, what's the point? And people get really crazy about politics. I feel like sometimes when people are talking about politicians, like, all of a sudden it's like a demon attaches to them, and it's not them talking. It's like this guy at the grocery store. I blame the price of this growing up on this person, and it's like this stuff's been happening since like the beginning of time, and they've been blaming whoever's in charge since the beginning of time. It's not like, and I do believe that they do bad things. So I don't know, So, but this other person was so annoying because it was like, you know, uh, one day it was like, well, maybe you're kind of right about what you say. And it's just like, we've been arguing to the point where I feel like you have a demon attached to you. I don't even want to speak to you because I feel like, you just freak out. You can't even be your own self when you talk, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe you're a little right. And it's like, I don't care if I'm a little right after how much time on the phone I spent with you that I didn't even probably want to spend arguing about stuff I don't want to argue about, stuff I'm not even into anymore. I don't even care. I know so much. I have so much information. It's so ridiculous that I can't even talk to most people about what I want to talk about. I kind of have to scaffold it up. Like, okay, I know this and this and this and this is how it's in your life because you know me and I know you do this, this, and this. And I just I try to help people see like what they're doing is, I want to make the world a better place. So I try to tell people what they're doing is, a negative, very negative. And then it's up to a point where I can't talk to you on the phone. I can't talk to you on the phone. And I hadn't talked to this person for a while. So then I finally called, and then she was like, you didn't call me. Nobody has my phone number. 0 people have my phone number. Like, well, actually 2 people. And she was like, well, I'm your best friend. I'm like, well, obviously, if I don't want to give you my phone number. And then it turns out, okay, recently I have my ex-mother-in-law passed away, and then I had an aunt that passed away. And she's like, oh, that's probably why you didn't call me. No, I didn't call you because I didn't want to talk to you. I actually talked to you after that. I just, if you can't remember, plus I don't want to talk to you all drunk, because I don't hardly drink anymore. Like, I haven't had a drink since, like, February, and I had a beer one night, and I got, I didn't get too drunk. It was at a restaurant, and it was like, it was a strong beer. But, I mean, that's the last time I had a drink, and I used to drink a lot as a teacher back in Vegas. A lot of teachers drink over there. I mean, a lot of teachers probably drink everywhere, because when you're teaching all these lies, you have to, and you have to, work your ass off to do this. But I just hate when people tell you, oh, you didn't call me because of that, and this and that. I can't even tell you why I didn't call you. I just didn't call you because I don't want to talk to you, because I hate listening to people rant on and on and on. At this time, she wasn't ranting so much, and she was doing better than the last time. But the thing is, the last 100 times I talked to her, it was rant, 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 rant. And I feel like it was only not a rant because I didn't talk to her because I didn't want to talk to her. And so then sometimes people start changing their tune a little bit when they realize, like, wow, maybe she was right a little bit, and maybe I do like to talk to her. Sort of like, I feel like I have a family member who I was getting my mail at their house or whatever, and then they were like, oh, they opened some of my mail and they felt justified about doing it. And then they're like, oh, I didn't know where you were, so I just felt justified in doing it. And first they called everybody and said they didn't know where I was and I'm lost. And, the sheriff sent a letter to the house, and it just turned out I had my license plates, I thought, stolen. I don't know if they got stolen or fell off. I don't know what happened. But I had report them. And then this person was like, I'm like, wow, I don't know. It was just a really awkward, weird situation where I felt that I was done wrong and this person felt that they were right. And in my life, this person, I can't ever be right with them. I just feel like there's things going on in their lives and things maybe they do to me or whatever, but things that they're doing to people in their lives or not seeing in their lives. And I can't tell this person, like, I feel like there is a situation that needs to be addressed with this person, and I can't address it. I've addressed it, but I just get blown off, so I don't want to sit and look at what I feel carnage. I feel like that people in my family aren't being treated the right way, and this person that's doing it used to be super vigilant about, you didn't treat this person right, or you didn't treat that person right, but meanwhile she's actually doing this to her own family, and it's driving me crazy, and I can't talk to her about it, and so I don't want to talk to her at all. Because she would sit there and tell me I'm wrong, and she'll bring up stuff that doesn't even matter, and I can't talk to people like that anymore. I don't want to talk about things that don't matter. I don't want to talk to people that are totally drunk, unless I'm totally drunk and we're just all out together or something, not like we're on the phone for 3 hours, and then I'm like, I gotta get off the phone, and you're like, you're gonna leave off the phone, and it's only because you're drunk, and I can't even get off the phone after 3 hours. and I didn't even want to be on that in the first place, or I have to accept what you're saying because you might be helping me in one little way, but we could be like moving our family totally along and getting out of old traditions and old ways of being, but you don't want to listen to anybody else because you know better than everybody else. Well, I know that you guys used to tell me, and these types of people do tend to tell little lies and little things, and then when you catch them in it, like, they'll be like, oh, well, but you did do this. You didn't really do that. And you were really helpful in this situation. But, you forgot to call me before you came over to my house, and I was very offended, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I just paid for your car insurance, but you're offended that whatever. That's fine. Make up things to be upset about. That's fine. I mean, I just want to kind of address real things in the real world, and if I can't make your life better, and you don't want to listen to me, I hate to say it, but I know that when I talk to people, I genuinely have love in my heart for them. I have love in my heart for my sister. I have love in my heart for my friends. But a lot of times they get mad at me because I know weird information and stuff. And it probably rings true, and so they get mad about it. And then later I do hear about how I was right. But you know what? It's time for everybody to start growing up. I'm tired of like being dumped on for being right and then being agreed with years later. I don't have time for all that. I have to be listened to like a person that matters right now. And so if I don't matter, what I say doesn't matter right now, then we don't need to talk right now. All right? So if you know better than everybody, then be on your own and know better than everybody. That's fine. You can scream louder than everybody, and I don't talk. People screaming shut me down. People lying to me and obviously doing the wrong things to me shuts me down, and so I cannot be shut down anymore. So there you go. I'm not going to be shut down anymore. And I'm probably, if I have to talk to you, I'm tell you the truth of why I don't talk to you, or I'm gonna tell you the truth of what's going on that I wish we could fix so that we could be super happy people, at least more happy in our own lives. But sometimes you have to go through pain in order to be more happy. You know what I mean? Like, you have to look at yourself and see what you're doing wrong and be like, I'm not perfect, but I do try to make people, I consider everybody's feelings and don't just think I'm right about everything. I only think I'm right about things after, because I've gone over them over and over and over and over, and then I'm like, oh wow. In the end, I'm like, wow, I'm right. Most people think they're right off the bat and never think twice about coming back with, oh, maybe I was wrong or anything like that. So, anyway, I just hate when people think they know better than you. They don't. Most people don't. If you have a problem, you can go to other people. That's fine, but you really have to somehow take your own advice. Like, if you notice that they're just kind of going on about themselves, but you need to be like, but I was talking about me, and like, can you help me out? Like, I know you think you're great, but can we help each other anyway? All right, it's your Coppernosis. I'm not sure what I'll call this one. Here's another rant. I love you. Peace and wholeness.